My name is Garcelle Hodge.
My name is Armani Jenkins.
Michaela Twig.
My name is Michael Hammond.
Taylor Llewellyn. Kayla Dismuke.
Jordan Huntley.
Delilah Pope.
Isaac Davis.
My name is Naaman Pope. I am a freshman undeclared major at Harding. Things that make me hopeful are the fact that conversations are getting started, I feel like. Whether it's on Harding's campus with the Black Student Association or out in the world, conversations are being started, which just goes to help and educate people about different cultures. Because the only way that we're going to really understand each other is if we talk.
I'm really excited to see conversations starting about culture, about perspectives, and about race. I'm really encouraged to see that on Harding's campus through a lot of different offices and a lot of different avenues, like with the BSA. I'm really excited to see that, and I think that the conversations are starting and they're getting deeper, which I think is really important.
The people who use media, social media, in the right way, more specifically, so like just avoiding all the violent protests, which is like there's not many of them that go on in retrospect to the grand scheme of things, but like there are a lot of peaceful protests that happen that a lot of people don't know about. So getting more of that message out to the world versus everybody like watching the news and there was a riot because like a black man was killed by the police. Like that stuff doesn't happen as much as people think it do, but the media kind of portrays it that way. So when you see people using social media to portray the good that black people are doing for the world, that makes me happy, and it makes me feel like I can raise children in a world that they don't feel, a world better than the world I grew up in.
I think if people just open up and just be receptive to listening to people speak instead of just automatically being on the defense and thinking that we're trying to attack them, that things will get better. I think that people just need to realize that we're not coming to attack, we're coming to just make things better for our community. And it's just a matter of listening to each other, us listening to, and not just always being on attack mode, because people aren't going to receive that. So I think that if everyone just has civil conversation, adult-like conversation, then things will get better.
Okay. Some things that I'm definitely hopeful for is building cultural humility. And I know I've spoken about this in class, and my teacher, Sarah Peza, really spoke on that, and it does mean a lot. People try to collect as much competence as they want, and they try to learn about, different cultures, but until they take that knowledge and like immerse it in humility and just the word and like what God wants us to do with that, that's when we can start changing things and start creating that brotherly society.
Just for us to all just drop the stereotypes. I mean, I know realistically they're going to be there because it's just the world we live in. But to not just look at someone and just assume that they come from a certain type of home, to look at someone and just guess how they're going to speak before they open up their mouth, to not look at someone and just assume, oh, I know he or she, I know they love 2 Chainz, I know they love, don't assume that without even getting to know the person. And I mean, Dr. King said it himself, don't judge me by the color of my skin, but the content of my character, Get to know me first, and you'll realize that I actually love classical music more than I love contemporary music. And not a lot of people knew that about me as a music major, but I do. So once you get to realize really who we are, I feel like once we take that time to get to know each other, then the stereotypes would fall away.
I'm excited for the future here at Harding, because I remember, before I came here, it's barely, it wasn't that diverse. But I think in the future it will be way more diverse than it is now. I'm excited to see that.
One thing I think is vital to creating equality, I guess, in that word, is opportunity. BSA, a Black Student Association, has been something that's been trying to be started for about 19-20 years. But the idea was shot down multiple times. But now we have an opportunity to say, hey, we're students here too, and we love you too, but you're not representing us, or just kind of correct some certain ideas, and just like there's different associations here on campus for different students from different countries and stuff, that we have different ideas of them, they can say, here's who we really are. And now we as Black students can do the same thing, where there's a lot of misconceptions over what a Black person is, and a Black Christian at that. People asking questions. that's something that as soon as somebody stops asking questions, they're not learning anymore. They already know what they know. But as soon as people ask questions, why does your hair look like that? Something as simple as that, from a genuine place and not why does your hair look like that? It just means so much because you're interested in me. And I believe seeking to understand another person is one of the simplest acts of love.
A lot of people here said today that they're hopeful for the conversations that we're having. And a lot of recent things that's happened in the news and in our society while a lot of those things are unfortunate, and I'm so sad that these people had to be martyred for us to even get to talking about it. I'm very glad that we are talking about it. As people say that it's worse than it ever has, race relations have been worse than they ever have been, but I think that this is a good thing, and I'm really hopeful for our generation to step up and take the steps that need to be taken to resolve this issue that we're having. And I'm glad that we're talking about it, because it makes me really hopeful for my future and my future family and generations beyond that we'll get this resolved here now. So I'm happy to be part of that movement.